Hello there, friends and followers. Today I'm going to be doing a tarot general reading. Just one pile, nothing to pick. I watch a lot of tarot pick a card videos, and I just figured I'd try my hand at making one myself because I do read tarot. Today I'm using the only deck that I have. It was created by Mari in the Sky. She's an Alaskan indigenous artist. And this deck has a lot of themes around nature and the body. I really like it. I find that it speaks to me. So I hope it speaks to you as well. So today, the reading that I'm doing it doesn't have a specific theme. I'm just going to be working with what the energies kind of pop out of the deck, what they speak to me, what spirit calls, and, just what my intuition says is right. I've never done this before, so bear with me a little bit as I find my bearings. All of the items I have here, I think, were actually given to me as gifts. So these are rose rocks that I got from a woman in Oklahoma. This is a Himalayan salt lamp that I got from my roommate as he was moving out. This is a chestnut seed, a chestnut nut, that my mother gave me. And I have here incense, also from my mom, assorted change, because I thought one of the themes that might be coming up today would be money. And I also have a jar of assorted charms that I could pull. So we're gonna see how this goes. So this is, as I said, a general reading for the collective. No specific topic in mind, but kind of just looking at what the next 2 weeks, 2 months, something like that are going to be like. What's this next cycle? What are we coming into? So this card just jumped out. These two cards, actually. The Flower of Thunder and the Seed of Stones reversed. One of the things I like about this deck is that it doesn't follow the sort of, page, knight, queen, king thing that a lot of decks follow, especially the original Waith deck. It has a lot of, so for page, what we have is seed. For knight, what we have is root. For queen, what we have is flower. And for king, what we have is harvest. So it follows the natural cycles. So this Flower of Thunder card is very powerful. This card is kind of like a woman, an eagle taking power. And here we have the Seed of Stones reversed. The deer in this card, I think, is supposed to signify kind of looking for what you need and taking what you need with no shame, no kind of fears about you, just going out and getting what you need to survive joyfully too. So this reading, I think, is going to be about powerfully kind of getting what you need and just automatically going about life. So I think today the focus will be advice to give to people who need to find their power. Maybe that'll be the title of the video. Advice for people looking for their power. So let me put these cards at the very front. What else? What else can we have from Spirit? Again, this is about power. So this card I just pulled out, kind of popped out, I didn't really even look for it, is the Magician card, the major arcana, the first card in the deck. The Magician card speaks to enacting the change you want to see in the world. And right now, I know that's a really powerful image for a lot of people because there's a lot of changes that need to be made in the world. The world right now doesn't really focus on the feminine aspect of things or the justice aspect of things. The world oftentimes is focusing on more masculine, goal-oriented things and not super giving a shit about the needs of the community, the needs of others, even your own needs. So this next card I pulled, the Ace of Stones, also known as the Ace of Pentacles, this is the card of kind of the world is at your fingertips. You have a new opportunity. Now, this is an Earth card, so I'm especially looking at a new opportunity financially. And that's one of the reasons I knew that this card would come up. That's one of the reasons I have this money here, because I think the financial aspect is going to be really important for people in this next upcoming month or two. Let me get some more clarification on what kind of way that money thing is going to come up in the world. If you hear some squeaking noises in the back, it's because my cat is playing with her cat toy. So please tell me, cards, how are people going to be in relationship with money? What is the importance of the financial coming up in this reading? I'm not the best at shuffling, so bear with me. So the Five of Thunder card just popped out. The Five of Thunder, also known as the Five of Swords, this is a card for trying your best, but acknowledging that you can't always overextend yourself. So I like this little booklet here. It kind of tells you what's going on with each of the cards. And she has her own interpretations here. Mari in the Sky wrote all these. And they're not always aligning necessarily with the traditional meanings of the cards. They focus more on how she interprets them. So this card is about trying to climb to the top of a mountain and then realizing that it would overextend yourself to get to that point. But also realizing, like her and the fox in this picture, that you have help. There are people who are going to help you. You need to rely on your community sometimes. You need to rely on your partners, on your friends, your family. So financially, maybe a lot of people are going to be coming into reliance and interdependence. And that's really going to be important, I think, as we go through this next phase of our lives, not to overextend yourself. You're not alone. A lot of times in this very kind of individualistic society we have, in the United States, that is, I think a lot of other places are a lot of different ways, but I think right now globally we have a very individualistic society, and people oftentimes feel like the burden rests solely on them. So just take this as a reminder that the burden is not just on you, especially not financially. The burden can be shared by all. Can we get some more clarification? That was pretty clear, but I'm just wondering if any other messages pop out. We have power, we have taking power, we have interdependence, maybe something about goals or how to reach them, or advice for the upcoming 2 months. Come on. I think maybe that's all for the money aspect. Don't forget to rely on others. Here we go. This card spoke to me. Okay, so we have the Hermit card. In this deck, it's a little fox, kind of just alone in the universe, but also hidden in the grass. And I think of this card, it's reversed, but I think of this card as going within, like being okay with being by yourself. And I don't mean being alone, although it can be that too. I think the Hermit card mostly signifies the kind of inner peace that you need to learn how to find within yourself in order to really love another person, to really rely on another person. You need to find inner peace. And to be supportive of other people who are relying on you, you need to find inner peace. So working on yourself, inner peace, like learning to be alone with yourself and being okay with that, but also learning to rely on others. And this might signify that a lot of people are going to be coming into a hard time financially. I think a lot of people, especially with the pandemic and just global capitalism in general, are already having a hard time financially. But I do think that once we learn to be alone with ourselves, to be okay with being alone with ourselves, and to learn to be okay with being alone, with being together with others and letting them help you, a lot of the focus that we have on money is not going to be as important or as hard to deal with. Whether you have money or you don't, I think both have different aspects that are very challenging. Okay, I think I'm going to draw cards for a different topic. So there we've got the situation with money. And as I said, I'm kind of learning how to shuffle. I'm not the best at it, but I don't think that's the most important part of this whole thing. So these two cards wanted to pop out. What do we have here? So we have a Two of Wands. This is a woman grasping power in both hands, going up a hill, trying to achieve something. So I think this speaks to achieving goals, very much aligning with the kind of grasping power of this Flower of Thunder card, this Majestic Queen card, and also the achieving your goals of the Magician. And also in another way, the kind of automatically going about the world as if you're just following your instincts. This kind of Seat of Stones card represents. So this woman, she's climbing a hill. She's naked to the world, very embracing of all the energies that are coming. And she has power in both hands, these wands, these swords. A clarification card that I got for this is the Devil. So this Devil card, is oftentimes talked about as something holding you back, something holding you down, preventing you from getting where you need to go. So I'm viewing this as the woman is looking for her power, but there's something holding her back from fully embracing it. So let me get another clarification card just to kind of make it symmetrical, I guess. What is holding her back? Oh, I got two cards. What's holding her back? Number one, the Five of Stones. So the Five of Stones, this is actually my personal relationship card. The Five of Stones has a girl looking in on the inner aquatic life of this turtle. There's 5 stones around, there's some fish and things, but really she's looking in at somebody, she's peering into someone else's life. She's kind of seeing how they live in their inner peace and like their inner world, how that is. So maybe for you guys, the thing that's actually holding you back is relationships. I know that might not be what a lot of you want to hear, but it can be true. People can be in relationships a little distracted from their own personal lives. They can be taken out of accomplishing their goals and achieving things and even supporting their own community in a way that doesn't really make sense instinctively, but it does make sense once you look into the deeper meaning of it. People in this very individualistic society that we're in oftentimes look to relationships as a way to make themselves feel better. So it's not really about the other person, it's just about them. So that can actually distract from forming true bonds with other people, true relationships, because if you're focusing so much on like a boy or a girl or like a person you want to date, you might not be focusing on the things that matter, like your roommate dealing with a personal crisis or your family member dealing with a health crisis. Those are the bonds that truly build up the relationships that make humans so powerful. So I think maybe here what's holding you back is focusing too much or attaching yourself too much to someone else's inner world. You need to look more into your inner world, which means the people around you, the people who love you, the people you love. Focus on them. Don't focus on putting your own worth into another person or putting another person's needs ahead of your own. That's not what it's about. So this other clarification card I got is the Justice card. In this card, you have two hands holding up two differently colored bags of seeds, and you also have seeds sprouting up. And what that signifies to me is that one of these seeds is like a bag of like healthy growth, like growing really fertile seeds that are ready to be planted. And maybe the other bag is not as, I actually interpret this, I know this isn't how she meant it to be, but I interpret this as the black bag is like a fertile bag of seeds, and the other black bag is a white bag of salt. So in my personal interpretation of this, it's kind of like you have a choice to make. You have one path that you could plant the seeds, you could really tend to the seeds, water the seeds, and something good would grow. Or you can choose to salt the lands behind you. You know, like salting the lands in old times was oftentimes used to destroy other people's crops, like so that they couldn't plant in that land, so that they couldn't have any food, like starve them out. So you could choose this kind of like bag of cruelty to salt their fields, or you could choose to plant the seeds in your own fields. And so I think that kind of goes in hand, which literally there are two hands, with this other 5 of stones, like where she's focusing on someone else, on this turtle. I think you have this option here of, you could look at what's holding you back. You could look at cruelty and being, you know, just really, really mean to someone. Or you could focus on yourself, focus on the people around you, focus on your friends, your family, your community, and grasp power, grasp these 2 wands in both hands. Also, I said earlier that the wands were swords. That was a mistake, sorry. The lightning bolt, the thunder, that's the swords. The wands are just wands. So the wands are powerful, just wands. So I know it was a short reading, but honestly, I think that's all I had to say. Maybe I'll come up with something else later, but thank you guys for listening. Tell me if you liked this video. Tell me what I could improve on, or if you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe and comment and all that kind of stuff. And I hope to see you guys later. I hope you enjoy yourselves and have a good night.